Hello and good evening everybody, this is Matti from the German band Powergame. Thank you very much to Antichrist magazine for having us, for giving us the opportunity to do an interview. Yes, so let's start with the interview. I hope you enjoy it as much as I'm doing it. Okay, I'll start off with introducing the band to you. We are a four-piece from a city called Bielefeld. We play heavy metal, pretty much classic heavy metal with some influences from speed and thrash and sometimes even a slight little bit death metal and black metal and stuff. We have been founded in the year of 2012, so we are around for 10 years right now. And yeah, we had quite a lot of lineup changes in these 10 years, but I'm the only one who was there from the beginning and used to sit days throughout all these years, and I'm still here and I'm not going anywhere. And so I hope for the other three guys that are with me right now. Our bass player Mark, who was with me when we started the band, then he left the band for 1.5 years or something, and luckily returned later on. Our drummer Klaus Gerald, who was a very old friend of ours. We used to play in another band called Lost World Order for nearly 30 years together, and I'm really happy that he's with us now. He was a guest drummer on our latest album Masquerade, and then since our last year's EP, The Lockdown Tapes, he's a band member, fixed band member, and he's just great, and I'm happy he's with us. And there's our guitar player Mark Phillip, who joined us like 3 years ago, I think, who is an awesome guitar player and a good songwriter, and I'm also happy to have him. So we're a really strong four-piece right now, and I hope we'll stay with this. Okay, but the band name Powergame is inspired by some new wave of British heavy metal bands, and in this case it is not Jaguar, although I like Jaguar and their Powergames album pretty much, but the band's name is inspired by the Tokyo Blade song called Powergame, which I think is just an awesome song. So the best title to name a band after, because there was only one band called Powergame. They were from Italy and they split up, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. So I'm happy that there's no other band called Powergame right now, so we're the only ones. Great. Okay, we just finished doing the recordings for a new album called Slaying Gods. This one will be out on March 18 on Iron Shield Records. First of all, there will be a CD version, but the vinyl is already ordered, but there are so many delays in the manufacturing facilities, so I think the vinyl will be there around April or May in 2022. I hope so. At least they promised me it will be like this, so let's hope everything will work out then. Well, Slaying Gods, I think what is the difference compared to our other albums, or at least to the last album Masquerade, is that there is really, it was just teamwork, because when Masquerade was recorded, it was mostly myself playing mostly all of the guitars, some bass stuff, doing all the vocal duties, and then there were two drummers helping me out. One of them was Klaus Gerald, who is now a band member, and the other one was Jörg Ogen, who he was the engineer and producer of the album and of the new album as well. So that was quite it was quite lonely working, as you can say. So now I'm happy that we were 4 people working in the studio, recording all the stuff. we were four people bringing in ideas to the songwriting, to the arrangements. That was just great. It was big fun to record this album. So this is, in my opinion, the main difference. That is really, it was teamwork and not just a one-man show, so to say. And well, we were open to more influences this time. I think Masquerade is really a classic heavy metal album with lots of new wave and British heavy metal influences. And the new album was a little bit more open. I think there is more, a thrashy approach here and there, and some speed metal, and of course classic metal. We have a blast beat in the title track, and we have a pure doom song called The End of the World, and we have a 12-minute opus called The Chalice. So I think it is very diversified, and there's a song for nearly every taste. So everybody should like the album. I think so. This is my opinion. If you do so, I'd be very, very happy. Okay, some of our lyrics deal with real happenings and topics, and some of them are more fantasy orientated. So I think I'll give you some examples here. Twisted Minds is about the current situation in Afghanistan, where after the Taliban took over again, they from one minute to another they had lost everything they had fought for 20 years, like equality and education and freedom of speech, freedom of being and doing things that you want to do. So I think this is quite a threatening topic, and it makes me kind of sad that this is happening nowadays. So this is a song that is really important for me. Then there's a song called Sacrificer. This is the only song on the album that is about the pandemic, and it is about a guy living in India who wanted to stop the pandemic with a kind of a religious ritual by cutting his own tongue. So he cut his tongue out and hoped for the ending of the pandemic by his gods, but as we all know, it didn't work out so well. But in the meantime, the doctors were made it to fix his tongue back again into his mouth. So hopefully he can be happy once again one day. And there's another song called Midnight Steel, which is just about putting on your leather clothes and your chains and spikes and your battle vests and going out on Saturday night, having some drinks with your friends and listening to metal music as loud as it gets. So everything that I think all of us are missing for nearly 2 years now, and what we really need to return into our lives. So yeah, let's wait for the Midnight Steel. It's coming back, believe me. And then there's the last song on the LP called The Chalice, which is a 12-minute epos, and there are lyrics about an alchemist who was living in some time in ancient Rome, and where his work wasn't legal, so they were hunting him down, and he was ostracized. But nevertheless, he had a family, he had a wife and some kids, and he managed to find the recipe for eternal life one day. So he invented kind of a drink that you could take and become immortal. And he was the first guy to test his recipe, so he drank the potion and he became immortal immediately. And Then he wanted to get freedom for his family and for himself. So he visited the mayor of the town and all the rulers, and he told them of his potion and said, I'll give you the potion, but we want freedom. I want freedom for my family. And well, they agreed on the deal. He gave them the potion, they drank it, and he was allowed to leave the palace, and he went home, but he had been betrayed. His family wasn't there. Um, they had been kidnapped or something. He never saw them again. So he he has to roam the centuries all alone, and he never manages to get some revenge. He never manages to kill himself. He isn't able to. So it's just a sad story about a lonely man roaming the centuries like a ghost almost. Yeah, the cover of the album was done by Kostas Tsiakos, a Greek artist who did the artwork for the Lockdown tapes as well. Um, he's, as you can easily recognize, he's a great artist, and he has he has great visions of artwork and of pictures. He has a very good understanding of what Powergame is all about, and he has a good understanding about our mascot called El Demonio Negro, who is a kind of a wrestler. And well, yeah, he's let's call him our Eddie or something. He's a mascot, and he can be placed in many settings, no matter where, no matter when. And this time it was about slaying gods of all kinds. And Kostas had the idea to give it this Greek setting, but we were we agreed that we didn't just only want to kill Greek gods, because we don't want to insult somebody in Greece or something. So we agreed to get some Nordic gods and Egyptian gods as well. So just to, yeah, to make it suitable for anybody. And yeah, I think the next artworks will be done by Kostas as well, because he's really doing a great job here. And well, I think we like each other as well. So we always have a nice conversation, and hopefully we can meet someday. Well, our label Iron Shield Records is actually run by heavy metal maniac Thomas. Some of them may know him by his nickname Duck. Um, he's he has lots of really cool bands in his roster, and he has a collaboration with Pure Steel Records for promotion and stuff, and of course dealing with CDs and LPs, and everything runs pretty good. There's no stress in the conversation. Everything is quite easy, and if he promises anything, he never breaks the oath. He's always doing what he has told us that he'd do. So everything is really working out good with Iron Shield Records. And that leads me directly to the next question. I don't know if it's important to have a label deal, but it really helps, because I think writing music is not a problem at all, but publishing music is all about networking and talking to people, knowing people, and if you have a label with a proper working promotion agency and stuff, it is just easier. So it helps us a lot. I don't know if it's important to have a label or something, but it helps a lot, and it's a lot of fun to work with Thomas. So why not? We're happy with it. Really, the question is, why heavy metal? I don't get the question at all. What heavy metal is not the question, it is the answer. The answer to anything in life. It's just, uh, I, I, I live for heavy metal. I eat and breathe heavy metal. So I don't get your question here. So it's all about metal. It's just it's my heart and my soul. So I, there's no question about it. I would never be a jazz head or a rap fan or something. I'll always be a heavy metal fan. Just from the first heard songs or the first riffs, it just got me on its hook. So why not heavy metal? Why anything else but heavy metal? Well, and I got into music in February of 1991, so it is just exactly 31 years ago this month. Um, I started off with some AC/DC. Somebody in school said, check out AC/DC. And it was the Razor's Edge at the time, and that was pretty good for me. It was okay, but it wasn't something that I was really mad about. But just a couple of days later, somebody said, check out Iron Maiden. And then I was, okay, I'll check it out. And their newest album, that was No Prayer for the Dying. And I started to listen to it, and it was completely blown away. It was like the best experience in my life so far. I know many people say No Prayer for the Dying is not the best album and stuff. But if you don't know anything else, and it's the first album that you listen to, the first real heavy metal album, then it just is able to do something with you. It's casting a spell like heavy metal always does. So the first real metal album for me was No Prayer for the Dying. I still love it to this day, although I know there are better Maiden albums, but who cares? So I got into metal with this album, and didn't take long to carry on with Metallica and Wasp and Manowar and stuff. And it was, I think, like 4 or 5 months, and I got into death metal with Morbid Angel, Unleashed, Dismember and stuff. And well, it got a hold of me, and it never let me go again. I'm here, deep in with both feet in heavy metal, and I'll stay where I am. If I could change the music industry, I think I'd get rid of some of those completely exaggerated special editions, collector stuff. Um, I think there are not so many people who actually buy CDs or LPs anymore in comparison to, like, let's say, the 80s or the 90s. So labels started to more and more create expensive editions to let the people pay more and yes, earn more money at the end of the day. So I think this is one thing I'd change if I could. I think there weren't any epic fails in the sense of let's say falling off the stage or something like that, but well, it's very typical. You start off a show, and in the first song, you notice that, man, I can't hear anything. I don't hear my guitars. I don't hear my vocals. I can't hear the drums or something like that. So sometimes there's a big insecurity during, especially the first 1 or 2 songs, and later on you can talk to the sound guy. You can change anything, and then the show gets better and better. But it's sometimes in the beginning it's not that good. I'm not that much into movies nowadays, but I really like to watch TV series, and I think the latest Star Wars shows were pretty good. And at the moment, I'm watching Dexter New Blood, which is okay so far. But music to me is much more important than watching anything. So yes, there's much new music I listen to. My latest favorite album is Spellbook Magic and Mischief, which is really awesome stuff. And I like new bands like, let's say, Solicitor, Bloodsport. I get lots of reissues. I think we live in very good time when it comes to reissues by labels like Arcane Steel or Cult Metal Classics or High Roller Records. There's so many good labels to do re-releases, which is it's just a treasure chest. you know. Uh, well, yeah, there's just too much to mention, but listen to the Spellbook album. It's awesome. I love it a lot. Well, yeah, there are many bands in our area. Not so many classic metal bands, I think. There's first of all there's a band called Charger. Some people may know them from the 80s. They've been active back then, disbanded for some decades, and then reunited some years ago. There's a band called Metal Mind. They sound a little bit like Hammerfall and bands like that. And there's a band called King's Knight, I think. And then there are many, yeah, let's say heavier bands, some death thrash and a lot of black metal bands in the area. I think many of them are really good. So yes, I think we have a strong scene here, but there are not so many bands that are better known outside of our area, unfortunately. Yeah, that leads me directly to the last question. Well, what do we want to achieve with Powergame? I think we have already achieved a lot. We did 3 albums so far. We did an EP and a demo CD, and we did many live shows, at least until 2019. And I think there will be many more to come. We've got a pretty good label, which is fun to work with. We can do whatever we want when it comes to our music, to songwriting, to doing the artwork, whatever. It's all up to us because it's our creativity and our our knowledge. And yeah, we just want to play live desperately. We want to play shows. This is the most important thing for a musician, and I think most musicians will have the same opinion than I have here. Just have to play live again, and then let's see where that leads us to. And of course, we want to be heard by as many people as possible. We hope that people like what they hear when they hear us, and yeah, we want to do many more albums, many more EPs, many more new songs, cover versions, and cool stuff. Let's see what happens. Well, yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying here with me for more than half an hour. And well, yeah, check out Powergame, have fun, and well, yeah, metal forever.